My name is Jarvis Boyland. I am a painter based in Chicago, Illinois. I'm most interested in making pictures and making images that I have not seen or that are sort of imaginative in a way, specifically related to Black people and queer Black folks. So my paintings situate those subjects within a domestic space to kind of create images of the home life, what it could be, what it could mean, but still sort of exist in the realm of like fantasy and suspense and drama and all of those things at the same time. I had this idea of a slumber party in mind and thinking about the playfulness, but also the ominous or eerie sense of a slumber party, thinking of that from a sort of psychological perspective in the sense of the color palettes that inform my paintings, but also their sort of gestures and gazes and proximity to one another, but also within the sort of secluded space. And so the work that's in the group show, Amid Kinship Next Door, is still continuing to think about Black, gay, queer, length bodies, but in proximity or next to a Black woman or a feminine subject, and how there's a appropriation or a crossover between those identities. Pop Out is the painting with myself and my former roommate slash good friend slash sister. I wanted to make a painting that felt like a tribute or an homage to Chicago and an homage to this friend, Brianna Robinson, and heavily inspired by Kerry James Marshall, who is a Chicago-based legend master in his ideas of Black people and feminine subjects in his own practice. The blue velvet wall is behind a mirror in my bedroom, and so the perspective of that painting is supposed to be one that is the reverse of us looking in the mirror. And so I wanted to kind of elaborate on that quite literally with, taking over the entire wall. The drawing, called Untitled Portrait of Myself, this relationship to self and my image, I think that it's interesting to sort of do a conditions check with yourself as an artist. I am interested in the idea of rest in my body, specifically in rest and not always sort of in production and making things sort of magically appear. Painting for me feels like the truest form of expressing that, because it's such, for me, a very slow process and such an intentional one of, making a gesture, making a stroke, making the image, right? In terms of scale, in terms of the bodies in my work, in their weight, their size, their garments, etc. I kind of consider all of that in the life that they live outside of my studio, but also in a sort of internal memory of, people who see them. I think about people who encounter my paintings and how might their ideas of home or Blackness or whatever, how might those ideas also be able to come into my paintings, or how could they push my own points of views? I had a film screening at the Green Line Performing Arts Center. I thought that was a really great sort of manifestation of what felt like a lot of correspondence or just abstract ideas that were able to sort of be tangible. I think that the Arts and Public Life Residency is so fantastic in that you not only get this amazing space to spread out, you also have an amazing team of people who are helping and encouraging you to do whatever you want, but to also sort of come to them if you need to alleviate, the pressures and stresses that I think come externally from community or personal life, etc. And so I found that to be a really refreshing and profound sense of what an institution can provide to an artist in order for them to consider, making work that responds to certain populations or themselves. I think that I'm in a place now where people just assume that work is just made with ease and just sort of appears on a wall. And it's so much more than that, right? It is the support and a financial contribution from an institution, from a residency that, allows me to have stretcher bars made and to get rolls of canvas and to get new tubes of paint. And so a lot of, what goes into making that finished piece is money, and it is labor that goes beyond me. And I think, one of the many things that I feel this residency has provided that is essential to making my work, at least. I just think a lot about like, what is the role of art? Who is it for, and does it have to do or respond to certain communities of people? I'm not wanting people to come to me or my work with expectations. I feel proud and happy that people share, the same desire to see a certain image. I think that people who are looking for the same types of images that I make or that I think about making come to and respond to my work. Those people are my community. Those people are the populations that I want to reach, and not so much of sort of appeasing everyone, because it's just not realistic. Yeah.